I want to say hello to everyone. Peace. Good day, good afternoon. Want to welcome you to our digital exchange. What we're going to do now is just quick introductions. For those that don't know, my name is Lamond. A lot of people call me Image. I'm calling in from Washington, D.C. On behalf of the Swaliga Foundation and the Global Education Exchange Coalition, or the GEEC. We want to welcome you. I'm happy to be here. We're going to learn and we're going to have some fun today. So if you will, we're just going to quickly go around. You can just tell us your name and where you're calling in from. And in that way, we'll do brief introductions.
I'm Ephraim Jernigan. I'm president of South Union Community Development, and we have a Saturday program called the STEM Foundation. And we've been a part of GEEC, Global Education Exchange Coalition, for 3 years now. And just happy to have a few of my students online as well. I'll pass it to Ms. Denise.
Greetings. I'm Denise Davidson. I'm here in Los Angeles, and I am a licensed marriage and family therapist as well as a licensed yoga instructor. So I integrate the two to merge the two. I also work with an organization called the Village Health Foundation, and we provide non-traditional medicine, Chinese medicine, and acupuncture. I have a community mental health clinic that I provide services to the community, and I'm one of the co-founders of the Global Educational Exchange Coalition, and I'm grateful for everyone to be on the line, and let's have some fun.
We're the Gibbs family. We are part of the STEM Foundation in Houston, Texas. This is Reginald Gibbs and Arthur Gibbs, and I'm Zavania Gibbs.
Welcome.
My name is Isaiah. I'm also here in Houston, and I'm a high school junior.
Thank you. Dory Wolf with Wolf Energy and Solar United Neighbors, and I'm glad to be here today to talk about solar energy.
Oh, it's good to see you all. It's good to see you all again.
Awesome. Glad you're here. Glad you're here with us.
Shakira, what city are you in?
Houston, Texas.
Hi, it's Kendra. I'm calling from Los Angeles. Here to talk about the filming aspect of the project.
Hi,
For
Kendra.
Kingdom Media Films. Hi, everyone. Happy to be here this morning.
Welcome.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Good afternoon to good people. My name is Yinka Banira from Nigeria. I'm the president of Banks Foundation. That's privilege in our country for more than a decade. And firstly, I really want to appreciate Mr. Brown.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Yinka. Glad to have you here. Miss Sandra Davis, you just joined us. Would you like to briefly introduce yourself? Tell us where you're calling from.
Yes, good morning, everybody. I'm with South Union Community Development Corporation here in Houston, Texas.
You can hear me. How are you?
Good. How are you?
All good.
Good. We're doing brief introductions. If you want to tell us your name, tell us where you're calling from.
My name is Dumi Pasha. I am based in Pretoria in Tshwane, South Africa. And my role within this collective, this coalition, is to work with young people in Tshwane within the Global Education Exchange Coalition program. And I'm also a yogi. I facilitate yoga. I teach people to relax, allow the nerves to settle, and the power of the mind comes out shining. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Tumi. Okay, cool. Well, glad to have everyone here. A couple quick housekeeping things for the purposes of our call today. If you're not speaking, if you would make sure that your mic is muted, that's just so that we can hear everyone, whoever is speaking. It makes it a lot easier for all of us to hear. So make sure your mic is muted. If you have a question or you want to make a comment, please feel free to type it in the chat. This is an open dialogue, so at any point if you have a question, feel free to just type it in the chat or raise your hand using that function as well. Continue the conversation. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Ephraim Jernigan, who's going to introduce our topic of the day and get us going.
Good morning, everyone. We're going to be discussing energy in the form of solar. A couple of things we're going to do. I'm going to do a quick exercise. I'm sitting outside and trying to utilize the sun's energy. I'm going to do a quick exercise. Shortly after that, we're going to have a presentation from Miss Dory Wolf. She's with Wolf Solar here in Houston as well, and she's going to share a little something about solar. In the end, we're going to play the game of our Kahoot in regards to solar energy, and I know everybody's going to get a 100. Then we also have young lady Sandra Davis is going to tell us a little bit about infectious diseases. We're all facing coronavirus, COVID-19, whatever you want to call it. So we should have a fun 45 minutes. So real quick, I'm going to show you, this is a solar panel. Okay, it uses the sun's energy to create electricity. So I'm going to do a quick exercise where a solar panel that is utilizing the sun's rays will make this fan turn. Everybody see the fan? Now watch it starts turning. Okay, it's turning. Okay, the sun's energy is transferring to the fan and making it turn. But if I was to cover this panel, is the fan gonna come on or not? It's not gonna come on. Okay, it's not on because the sun is blocking. It's being blocked. But if I remove that top panel, then once again, the fan comes on. Okay, that's my little quickie. I'm gonna pass it over to Dory. She's gonna tell us a little bit more about solar.
Thank you, Ephraim. I'm gonna share screen. I'm gonna go to this screen and tell me when you can see it. Can you see this screen? Does that
Yes.
work? Okay, so, and if you want to block you can shrink down the talking heads by shrinking down those heads if you want to see the whole screen. Okay, welcome. I'm going to go briefly through this because I love talking about energy, and not just solar energy, but I love what Denise did with us this morning and Toomey did with us. What kind of energy is that? That's our body's energy, but there's all forms of energy. And energy, the definition is really the ability to do work. And so we're going to talk about electrical energy today. But why should we care where our energy comes from? No matter what energy we use, no matter what we do, we have an impact on this earth. And it's our carbon footprint, as it were. And so my personal goal is to reduce my carbon footprint and make as little impact on this earth as I can. So where does our electricity, when we turn a light on, where does it come from? And I'm going to start up here in the upper left-hand corner. This is a factory, a small little factory that is powered by the water falling over this dam. So this hydropower. This is a pile of coal that's taken out of the earth and makes electricity from burning the coal. These two next pictures are a bio plant. They take wood chips from harvesting forests and they burn it in a plant to make electricity. This is a nuclear power plant, the next picture over, if it's not hidden by the talking heads. That nuclear power plant takes uranium and makes electricity from that. Down in the bottom right-hand corner is our wind turbine, a wind farm making electricity from wind. And the next middle bottom picture is an oil refinery making electricity, and then making electricity from oil pumped out of the ground. And then the last picture is a solar farm making electricity from the sun. And so questions for you as we think about our carbon footprint: what is sustainable? What is renewable? The definition of sustainable is the ability to be maintained at a certain rate or level. So I'll ask you, if you had a cloth napkin and a paper napkin, which would be more sustainable? Think about it. Which one can be used again and again and again? You wash it, yes, but it can be used again and again. So a cloth napkin is more sustainable than a paper napkin. And then the definition of renewable, capable of being renewed over and again, I'm going to go back to the previous slide and ask you which forms of energy might be considered renewable. So starting up here with hydro, it's not so good to build the dam, but once you have the dam built, the water cycle happens, it's closed, and you continually get water flowing if all goes well. So that's a fairly renewable power source. This coal was made from dinosaurs long, long ago, right? And once it's used, it is not, it's used up. So that's not renewable. The bioplant is tricky because you got to make sure you plant new trees so that you can have sustainable harvesting. So if it's done sustainably, it's a renewable source. Nuclear, as a challenge for me, is what do we do with the nuclear waste? We still don't have a solution for those wastes. So I have a hard time saying that that's renewable. The wind's always blowing. So again, as long as we put the wind turbines in a sustainable way, then that's a renewable resource. Oil, once it's pulled from the ground and all the carbon pollution, it's not a renewable source. And solar doesn't generate any carbon offsets, and it actually, just so you know, makes up for the energy of the embodied energy of the array is made up in 2 years. So after that, it's a completely renewable, sustainable type of energy. All right, so I have a song I love to sing, and again, if Sakur wanted to play a drum during it, but we're not going to do it right now, but it's a Think It Through song. It's a rap that just makes us think about our choices that we make every day in our lives. But we'll keep learning about energy, okay, about electricity. So how is electricity measured? It's measured in a unit of power called a watt. And so what is a watt, you might ask? And a watt is a measurement of power. And power is an easy formula, volts times amps. But it does new words. So let's think about volts in the way of water and that hydropower. Volts is the potential, the height of the dam, how much water is waiting to come down through our turbine. And amps is the flow, the current, how fast that water comes through that turbine. But rather than water, let's think about electricity. And if I had more time, I would actually show you that I can prove that I can make an electron move through this coil of wire. So you take a coil of wire, hook it up in a circuit, and take a magnet and spin that magnet nearby this coil. You can make an electron move and light up this light, or I can make it show on a voltmeter. But short of that and turning and cranking, let's make electricity from the sun like Ephraim just did. So you take a photon of energy from the sun, and there's that word volt in as electricity. So photovoltaics is making electricity from the sun. We're going to make that electron move by sun's energy. So So here the electron, the photon comes down. It excites an electron. The electron goes over to the positive side, but it doesn't like to stay there. Electrons and positive electrons don't like to be together. So it moves along a current. It does some work, and then it comes back and is happy only to get excited by a photon again and repeat that. And that is direct current. That's what that solar panel was doing when it powered Ephraim's fan. And I'm just going to go fast through all of this, and you can ask questions later. I have another song I love to sing, as some of you might know. It's called What's a Watt? And it's what I've got growing on the open air. But I'm not going to sing this now. I'm going to challenge you to say, okay, one of the lines in the song is, we watch our watts and how we use them. Conserving certainly helps. So if we can use less energy, it's going to be easier to power from the sun. So how do we use less energy? And the electrical energy, it's easy. Unplug things when they're not in use, turn off lights when not in use, keep your AC, up high, try not to use too much air conditioning, change out to LED light bulbs. And so I have provide you with a challenge for those of you who live in a place where you can see your meter. Do this with your parents, but check out where your meter is and see if you can make it slow down. So a normal house, you might see or find a way to see the meter moving forward or adding up kilowatt hours. But in a solar house, you actually can see them go backwards when the sun is shining, which is pretty cool. It goes in the opposite direction. So a challenge for you is, can you make your home electric meter slow down, right? And if you had solar, you could actually make it go backwards, but see how slow you can make your meter go. So there's just a homework challenge for you. You can also, with Solar United Neighbors, they have a cool patch that you can earn and learn more about solar and become a solar champion in your neighborhood. So I just want to show you, there's Ephraim's dad. He's got solar on his home. These are my in-laws. We have solar on our home. We have an electric car and we have an electric lawnmower. So I haven't been to a gas station for a long, long time. It's pretty cool. So I'll warn you that renewable energy, solar power is clean and it's addictive. You get really excited by it. So there it is. That's my spiel. I will stop sharing and thank you for allowing me this time.
Awesome. That was great. Thank you, Ms. Dory. I actually wanted to hear one of the songs. I thought you were going to do one of the raps. That would have been cool.
We said we had 10 minutes, so we didn't do it, but I left Ephraim with a recording of my daughter doing it. Now, we're both white. We don't do raps quite right, so it's not really a rap, but it is fun and it's got a good beat. And think it through. What should we do? I think it through. What should we do? So you can do that. Ephraim says if everybody stays engaged, you can do that.
Okay. I like it. I like it. No, that was awesome. That was a great presentation. Thank you.
So Lamont, if we can, Isaiah, are you ready to perform your song?
Yes, sir. I am right here. It's just something, guitar playing, just something you can pick up. I've picked up during quarantine. Really the whole thing about this is just picking up new skills that you can learn and discovering more about yourself during all this time that we have to ourselves. And yeah, so that's just what I've been doing. I can kind of relate it to the last thing we did with sound energy. With the guitar, actually, when you pluck the strings or whatever, they have the vibration of the sound waves. It goes to this little thing right here, and you have the sound hole. And the waves kind of bounce off inside the guitar and they come out through the sound hole, so that way it's actually louder to the people that are listening to it. So that's kind of how that ties in a little bit to the last thing that we did with learning about sound hole. So let me see. Oh, this song is called Best Part, by the way. Y'all probably heard it on the radio or anywhere, but it's pretty good. You don't know, baby, when you hold me and kiss me so, it's the sweetest thing, and it don't change. If I had it my way, you would know that you are. You're the coffee that I need in the morning. You're the sunshine in my brain when it's pouring. Won't you give yourself to me, give it all. Ooh, I just wanna see how beautiful you are. You know that I see it. I know you're a star. Where you go, I'll follow. Don't matter how far. Yeah. If life is a movie, then you're the best part.
I have to apologize for the vocals. I woke up kind of rough this morning. Didn't get nothing in, but I gave you all my heart. That's what I got.
Man, that was awesome. That was awesome. Yeah, thoroughly enjoyed that. And then you even connected it to sound energy. That was sound wave energy. That was beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Oh. Okay, so we are now going to play a quick game. This is our Kahoot. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Okay, now this will be a refresher for some. We'll see if you remember. First question says, sound is faster than light. True or false? Oh, the correct answer was false, and those are both forms of energy. One of the ways that we know that light is faster than sound is because if you've ever watched during a thunderstorm, you'll see the lightning flash before you hear the thunder. Think about that for a second. The sky will flash, that's the lightning, and that light hits your eyes before we hear the thunder. There's like a delay. Usually you'll hear the thunder rumble after you see the lightning. And that's one of the ways we know light is faster than sound. So the correct answer for this question was false, because light is faster than sound. Okay.
And Lamont, we don't have any students from LA on, but if we did, it doesn't really thunder and lightning here. So they wouldn't have that experience. No, I'm from DC, so I experienced it, and I experienced the biggest thunder and lightning in South Africa. So just so you guys know, in California, they don't get much of it.
It doesn't rain in Southern California.
Yeah.
Okay, question number 2. Sound is a vibration. Is that true or false? Sound is a vibration. Is that true or false? Excellent, excellent. Most of us got that one. The correct answer is true. Sound is just a vibration, and it carries that energy. Okay, moving right along. Question number 3. Sound waves can travel around surfaces. Is that true or false? Sound waves can travel around surfaces. Wow, excellent, excellent. The correct answer was true. We learned that sound waves have frequencies that allow them to travel around surfaces. Okay, true or false? Question number 4. This is worth twice the points. True or false? Sound is an electromagnetic wave. This is a tough one. We learned it last time. Sound is an electromagnetic wave. Is that true or false? Okay, so the correct answer was false. We were split on that one. We learned that electromagnetic waves are light waves. Think electricity. Sound moves a little bit differently. It moves similar to a slinky. It's a straight line. So that's different from an electromagnetic wave, and we'll talk a little bit more about that a little later. Okay. Question number 5, true or false? Sound is a type of energy. Is that true or false? Sound is a type of energy. Excellent, excellent. Everybody got that one. The correct answer is true. Sound is a type of energy. Question number 6, this one is worth twice the points. What is amplitude? Use your best guess. What is amplitude? Is it red answer key, a really loud sound? Is it blue answer key, the distance a wave travels? Is it yellow answer key, The maximum extent of a vibration? Or is it green answer key, equal to the wavelength? What is amplitude? Is the question. What is amplitude? Wow, okay. Y'all are really smart. The correct answer is the maximum extent of a vibration. Is how high the wave goes. Excellent, excellent job. Okay. Things are moving around on that leaderboard. We're at question number 7. This is worth twice the points. What careers use sound waves? Read carefully. What careers use sound waves? It's a red answer key, acoustic engineer. Blue answer key, sound engineer. Yellow answer key, ultrasound technician. Or green answer key, all of the above. What careers use sound waves? Take your best guess. Wow, okay. Y'all are super smart. The correct answer was all of the above. All of these careers. Acoustic, which is another word for sound. Engineers use it as well. Sound engineers and music producers. And an ultrasound technician. For those that don't know what that is, an ultrasound is a process that doctors use to see inside of our bodies, and they use sound waves to do that. It bounces back and creates a picture. Okay, moving along to our last question, number 8. Low pitch is equal to low frequency. Is that true or false? The statement says low pitch equals low frequency. Take your best guess. Red answer key, true, false. Okay, excellent. The correct answer was true. The correct answer was true. Our leaderboard. Great job, Kendra. Excellent job, Drummer Shark. And our winner this time was Reggie. Shout out to our runners up. Excellent, excellent. In the meantime, as we're thinking of questions and comments, I think we have one more presentation from Miss Davis. Yes.
So Ephraim, thank you for inviting me to be a part of the STEM Foundation Day today. I really appreciate it. Ephraim asked me to share with you guys a brief presentation on what we're just referring to as COVID-19. The reason he asked, my disclaimer, I by no means am an expert at COVID-19. However, I work for an organization here in Galveston, Texas. It's called the University of Texas Medical Branch. And that's where we have many trained scientists and researchers who are working diligently on trying to, not only are the physicians actually taking care of patients who have the disease, but we have researchers and scientists working in our laboratory, working for vaccines and trying to come up with treatments and things of that nature. So I just wanted to share briefly with you some information on some of the things that we're doing at my organization. First thing I wanted to share with everybody is just at the forefront of everybody's mind, regardless of where you are, is just to not lose sight that we're all in this together. This is a pandemic that literally took the world that we know and just has turned everything upside down. So just continuing to be kind and to be considerate and to have that compassion for each other as the world tries to overcome this challenge that we're facing right now, which is one of the reasons why we're connecting by Zoom, not only for the STEM Foundation, but just even in our regular everyday lives. This has become the norm now because of the social distancing. So one of the things I wanted to show with you is just some information. You may have already seen this information before. It's nothing new. It's been out there for some time now. But I just pulled some tips for you from the Center for Disease Control that talks about how to protect yourself and how to protect others while we're going through this pandemic. And so just knowing about the COVID-19, knowing how the disease is spread, how to protect yourself and others from it, to continue to practice social distancing, ways that we can prevent the spread of the COVID-19 if you are sick by staying home, seek medical attention if you need it, and then know your risk for the illness. Is that everyone is at risk for getting COVID-19. However, there is a more vulnerable population, which are the elderly people and the people with underlying medical conditions. So some additional tips from the Center for Disease Control is just knowing how we can stop the spread of the disease. So avoid the close contact with people who are sick. We want to make sure we're using precautions for ourselves by covering our cough or our sneeze with a tissue, throwing that tissue away when we're done with it. You can also use the elbow. If you don't have a tissue available, the elbow to cough into. You want to avoid contact with your face because it's been shown that COVID lives on surfaces, so you want to avoid touching your face and your nose and your mouth. When possible, when you're in public, try to have some type of face covering. If you don't have a mask, you can use the bandana. A lot of people are making other face masks, which is something that's better than nothing. Clean and disinfect frequently with items that you touch and objects that you touch. Just practice that. Just make it a part of your everyday routine. I know at night when my family settles down, I take Clorox wipes and I just go through it and everything that we commonly touch. Refrigerator handle, the microwave handle, the doorknobs, the light switches. Our chairs, our dining room chairs that we pull in and out to sit in. So just go around and just keep your surfaces clean and disinfected. When you're sick, just stay home when you're sick, unless you're going out to seek medical care. And the biggest thing that we can all do is just with the hand washing. Washing your hands with a good antibacterial soap. If you don't have an antibacterial soap, any soap. Soap is better than nothing. Washing your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. And that's one of the best precautions that we can take when we're trying to help stop the spread of the disease. So there is a video here by Our World Data. I'm not going to share that one for the sake of time. It's a cute video, but I put the website there. If you want to make a note of it, you can go online. It really explains coronavirus in a very, very simple way of how the disease spreads, how it affects your body, and how you can overcome the disease as well. So if you have some time, make a note of that link and you can pull that video up on YouTube and you can watch it later.
I definitely want to first say thank you to everyone for joining us today. I hope you learned something. I hope you had fun. Again, this is the time if you have any questions, any comments, you want to share anything, now is the time. This is one of the main reasons that we're here, is to continue to share with each other and continue to learn from each other and build. If there are no questions, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up for the sake of time. Thank you, Ms. Davis, for that presentation. Definitely make sure we get those video links. We're gonna share them out with everybody, even folks that were not on the call, so that people can watch the videos. That was some great information, though. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you to all of our presenters. This was a really informative call. So without further ado, again, just thank you. I pray everyone is blessed. You have a great weekend. Be safe and be well.